Hey everybody, Brian Skeel here, and I wanted to chat with you about some of the cool things I've been doing in Pro Tools today. But first I want to talk a little bit about inspiration and writer's block. So I've been struggling with writer's block and finding the right inspiration for music for a while, and I decided that I would just get in and play until I found something cool. And very often, I rely on randomization. I have tools that help me to randomize or to generate sound for me. I don't mean necessarily going in and creating presets, but I have things that will shift things as I am playing and will allow me to explore new sonic areas that I hadn't before. So what I did today was I decided to just come up with a bunch of loops. And all this was sound design type stuff. I pulled up a bunch of virtual instruments and soft synths that I really enjoy playing with, and I just created sounds and created loops. And I decided to do this in the key of A flat and at 128 BPM. And the thought was that when I was finished, I would throw it in a randomizer and let this randomizer determine what loops would play and at what time. This is a really, really cool way to have just this huge arsenal of sound, but let the mercy of the computer determine what's going on. So I'm going to show you a couple of the loops that I did today. So this first one's pretty typical, or I guess it's this one. This is a pretty typical growly FM8 kind of sound. Let's see, we also have, I created an arpeggio in Reaktor and then threw it through a amp sim by Joey Sturgis Tones. Here's what that sounds like. I also opened up Reaktor and messed with the blocks and messed with FM synthesis and created some really nonsensical sounding stuff. One of the first ones I did was just massive, a ton of distortion, and just a really, really cool riff. Whoops, losing power. Cool, so there's that one, and the last one I'll show you is just a Reese bass, and I modulated the cutoff filter as I was playing it. So if I was to play all this together, none of it would make any sense, and that's okay because that wasn't really the point. The point was to create a bunch of sounds, a bunch of loops, and then throw them in a randomizer and let the randomizer decide how they were going to play back. So that's exactly what I did. I bounced all these down and then threw them into a really cool Reaktor ensemble called Ultraloop. This is by a development team called Twisted Tools, and they make such amazing ensembles. Not just great ensembles, but great sounds. They have amazing sample packs, and if you're short on inspiration, this is a great set of software to get. So basically, what Ultraloop is you get to decide what loops play at what time. So let me explain. So down here, I went and I loaded up my 15 loops, and then up here, I get to tell it what loops I want to play. Very, very basic parameters. Or I can just hit the random button, which sounds better to me. I don't want to spend a lot of time. I want the computer to decide for me. That's what this huge lack of inspiration can be helped by, is the randomization. And then up here, these different blocks get to determine which of these loops are playing and at what time. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna bypass this compressor, and I have a C4 going, which is basically just helping with the random frequency. Since I have so many different sounds, this is helping keeping things under control. But let's go back into Reaktor. We're gonna hit random, and let's see what things sound like. Here we go. Whoops. I'm going to turn this off because I want to show you what Ultraloop does first, and then I'll bring back in the loop. Yep. That was pretty cool. So yeah, I could do this for hours, and I could, tweak things, and I could add effects and create automation with all these blocks. But for the sake of time, I'm just gonna let this loop work and show you kind of how it works in context with a beat. Now, I also, in addition to the kick, the snare, and this loop, I took the kick and I sidechained it to a compressor with Ultraloop. So this is what that sounds like. Just create more movement and have it a little bit more fun, and keep it synonymous with this type of music. So let's go ahead and listen to this Ultraloop. There it is, with the rest of this loop. Here we go. Check it out. Yeah, and that's basically what I've been doing all day. And really, this is just to illustrate to you that you can be completely blocked off from inspiration. You can have the worst writer's block you've ever had. But if you have a great set of tools and determination, then you can come up with something really, really cool. Let me just encourage you really fast. Just push through, really dedicate to something. Come up with an idea and then don't stop for 2 hours. Just build on that idea until it turns into something. Shelve that idea until tomorrow and then come back into it with a fresh mind. Once again, check out the Twisted Tools software. I think it's twistedtools.com. This is Ultraloop, one of their Reaktor ensembles. You have to have Native Instruments Reaktor. I think it's 5.5 or above for all this stuff to work. I'm using Reaktor 6, so we're good. But these are some really great tools you can utilize if you're short on inspiration, if you have the writer's block that I've been dealing with, and continue to pump out great music. Once again, guys, I'm Brian Skeel, and if you liked this video, please subscribe and let me know in the comments if you liked this, if you'd like me to show you some different stuff. I plan on doing a bunch of tutorials like this, so I'd love to know what you find interesting. So everybody, happy sound making and have a great day.